You're right everyone, welcome along to Arsenal Fan TV, where in this video I'm going to bring you my thoughts on Arsenal's 3-2 victory over Brighton and Hove Albion in the FA Cup. And coming out of this weekend, we've got to be looking like the favourites to retain our trophy this season, with the likes of Chelsea, Man City, Southampton, all going out of the FA Cup this weekend, and with Manchester United and Liverpool still with replays. This could potentially be our year to retain our trophy once more. An absolutely fantastic game of football today, and it wouldn't be a classic Arsenal performance if we didn't make things a little bit difficult for ourselves in that second half, coming out on top just by 3-2, the final score being. Going into this game, we rotated the team quite significantly. We saw Matthew Flamini come in. I'll get onto him a little bit later because I do think he was a player to certainly pinpoint today. As well as that, we saw the likes of Francis Coquelin dropped, Santi Cazorla rested, and Mesut Ozil and Theo Walcott starting a competitive game together, which was absolutely fantastic to see, and they had some really good cohesion within the squad. We also saw the team captained by a veteran Tomasz Rosicky, who had an absolute masterclass performance today, in my opinion. Another player that I'll get onto a little bit later. And the real talking point was Nacho Monreal being utilised as a centre-half, a player who yet again put in a solid performance, and certainly a reassuring performance in that role, in my opinion. And as well as that, we saw Wojciech Szczesny come in for David Ospina, who wasn't anywhere near the team today. And I think this was an odd move. Szczesny, again, another player that I could pinpoint out, because I think he could have done better on both of the goals, but I'll analyse him just a little bit later in the video. So starting off in this game, it couldn't really have started any better for us. The early goal coming from Theo Walcott, I didn't think it would be quite that easy to break Brighton down, in all truth. It was a great goal by Theo Walcott, but considering where I was sitting in the stadium, I didn't get the best of views. The same goes for the Ozil goal a little bit later, but it looked like an absolute class finish, and you wouldn't have wanted anyone else to score. This is going to do him so much confidence. Walcott looked absolute class. They got a really good run out, about 70 minutes on the pitch, and it's just going to be really good for his confidence, and hopefully he'll be banging in a whole load more goals. And given the opportunities that he's had in recent weeks, that he's absolutely scuffed, and he had more opportunities in this game that he should have put away. That was certainly one of the more difficult ones, so that was a really good goal for him to score. And then shortly after, the goal coming from Mesut Ozil, another player that you really wanted to see get on the score sheet, and this should do him and his morale a whole load of good. And again, I didn't really get the best of views from it, but it looked like a really tidy finish. And like I say, another player that you'd really like to see on the score sheet. And we could have had a couple of more in that half. We should have done, in fact. Giroud had a good chance. Rosicky had a shot blocked. And we should have gone into that second half about 3 or 4-0 up. But at 2-0, considering the results around us in the FA Cup this week, and considering the Chelsea, City results, etc., to go in 2-0 away from home, a difficult place to go to, Brighton, as was proved a couple of years ago, I was really happy with that. And that first half, in my opinion, and this is with all respect to Brian, I thought it was very, very comfortable and very easy for us. I thought that we kind of walked over, we were allowed to play our own game. We certainly looked like the superior team and the more dominant side. But in the second half, that completely changed when Brighton and Hove Albion got a very early goal in about the 50th minute. I wouldn't say it was going against a run of play, because they were starting to press a little bit more and come to their game a little bit more, but it originated from the middle of the park and it came out of nothing. And this is where I think Flamini needs to be brought into question, because all season he's gone missing in games. It's not just that, but his tackling is off point, his passing is off point. They were the things that I can analyse today and look at, and I think they're not right. They are so far off point with him at times. I think he'll do us alright until the end of the season, but we've seriously got to be looking for more stable replacements in that area of the pitch. He was pretty woeful today, and I think, in my opinion, if Francis Coquelin started this game ahead of Matthew Flamini, then we wouldn't have conceded those 2 goals, or we wouldn't have conceded them in the way that we did, because they originated from areas that they shouldn't have done, the area which Flamini should have been dictating. He didn't do that well, and I thought our defensive situation certainly was made blatantly more stable when Francis Coquelin entered the field of play. But I'll get onto him when he came onto the pitch a little bit later in the video. So at 2-1, it was very difficult for us. They were piling on the pressure, but we got a get out of jail card really through Tomasz Rosicky. Class goal from him. Tomasz Rosicky was an absolute masterclass in midfield today. Absolute quality. To be at his age, to be captain in Arsenal, to be putting in goals into the back of the net like that. He was head and shoulders above the team today. Quality player. My man of the match by some distance. Volley. It was a sublime goal. Really sums him up as a player. Absolute class. Absolute class. And then at the end of the game, giving his shirt to the fans. He is a very unique player. I mean, like Wenger's quote after the game saying, if you've got to love football, you've got to love Rosicky, sums him up perfectly. I think he's an absolute asset to Arsenal. I really hope he stays at the club for a little bit longer. And it was great to see him get the armband today. Thoroughly deserved, and a thoroughly deserved, or I'm hoping he got man of the match performance. That's something I've got to look into a little bit more. But 3-1 up, and it looked comfortable again for us. But again, another sloppy goal that we conceded. Very good goal by Sam Baldock, in all fairness to him. Of all the people to score, I wouldn't have thought it would have been him. The guy who left West Ham a couple of years ago, couldn't hack it in the Premier League, seems to have found his level now at Brighton. I'm saying that with all respect to him, but it was a very good goal by him. Wojciech Szczesny, another player that has to be brought into question because he committed way too early for this goal. He looked far too casual for the game today, in my opinion. He underestimated Brighton. I don't think he should have done that. And I think, again, maybe wouldn't have conceded those goals if he'd have been commanding his box a little bit more. If Ospina maybe had been in goal, who wasn't in the team today, it does frustrate me at times because Szczesny has a lot to prove. After what he's done in the changing rooms, smoking at Southampton, he does have a lot to prove. He has to make a point. He has the talent. He has the potential. He's under 25 years old. He can make it as Arsenal's #1 keeper, but he's got to show desire, he's got to show commitment, and he's got to show belief that he wants to have that #1 shirt, which in my opinion he didn't do today. A sloppy goal from him, 3-2, really piled on the pressure for us. Just before that goal though, we did see the introduction of Alexis Sanchez and Chuba Akpom. Akpom was absolute quality when he came onto the field of play. There was one mistake he made where he probably should have played in Alexis Sanchez. Unfortunately, he didn't do that, but he ran those Brighton defenders absolutely ragged. He was quality going forward. He did get into a couple of positions where he should have scored goals, but his position making was absolutely superb. His marking, all of that was absolute quality. And I think what he did really well was drawing fouls from the Brighton players. Brighton must have picked up about 3 yellow cards just from Akpom running through them. Absolute class. He's got such good qualities and abilities to his name. He's got pace, he's got strength, and he's got a good finish on him. So if you can bring all those assets together and get goals for us, we have a very, very prolific player on our hands and certainly an exciting prodigy at the club. But to end the game 3-2 away from home, this was always going to be a difficult place to go to. A fantastic result in my opinion, and we go into the next round of the FA Cup. It's been a quality day for me, excellent day away at Brighton, and hopefully we can get another exciting draw. Of course, with loads of Premier League teams going out now, it does make it a little bit easier for us. In my opinion, I would quite like another away draw, maybe to a team of Brighton's level, another Championship side, or a home draw. I'm just hoping that we get a bit of luck in the Cup. Anything but United away will do for me, in my opinion. Anyway, guys, those have been my thoughts on Arsenal's 3-2 victory over Brighton and Hove Albion in the FA Cup. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like, rate, and subscribe to Arsenal Fan TV. Do check out my own channel, AFC Game by Game, and I will speak to you soon, guys.